everybody, and today we are here to review Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Forgotten Swordsman. So, this is the second episode of the arc of the Demo Dragon arc of the Tmnt. And a lot happens in this episode. We get a debut of a new character, but first, the episode opens with Fishface, who is at the same Miracle Ride, the Ferris wheel place, whatever you want to call it, and he's there for some reason, but he goes underwater and finds the dead body of Razar and takes him to the secret cult. And Tiger Claw commands Razar to be resurrected, and he is resurrected. So, when I originally saw this, I honestly forgot Razar was killed by Leatherhead, and he drowned, and now he's resurrected, and he even says, "I live!" But this is where things take a turn, as Tiger Claw has ordered Fishface and Razar to go after the Kudo Kabuto, as Kabaxis needs Shredder's heart and helmet to resurrect him. So, Razar and Fishface go after that. Meanwhile, the Turtles are all hanging out, trying to figure out what their next move is for, find out where Kabaxis is. This is where Mikey is playing video games and not worried at all about Kabaxis, saying he's no big deal. But, Leo, because he's the sensei now, he threatens to, ground Mikey, and because of it, and Mikey's like, "Back me up, Raph." And Raph's like, "Ooh, he's the sensei now." But while this is going on, they get a location of where their next move could be. But this is where Leo decides to send Raph and Mikey to go on their next move. But this is where I think Raph starts complaining about it. Because he doesn't want to be, I guess he doesn't want to be stuck with Mikey, or he just doesn't want to go on patrol to find where the foot is going up against. But this is where Leo takes a little strike at Raph, and then Casey's like, "Ooh, Sensei Leo is acting a little strict." So yeah, he's the sensei. Leo is now not the new fodder, but the sensei. So yeah, they led their trail where Karai and Shimigami are trying to find out where their Foot Clan is. This is where I think where Karai and Shinigami go to a warehouse, and it turns out her Foot Ninja have all betrayed her for a new leader, that being Tatsu. So Tatsu was in the 90s movies of TMNT, the first two movies. But he's basically Shredder's right-hand man in those movies. And in this, he apparently lived in Japan, and he did know Oroku Saki. But his goal is he wants to be the new Shredder. And so I didn't realize it was Tatsu at first. And then I put the pieces together that it was just like the character in the 90s movies. But apparently he is just as tough as the original Shredder. Not Super Shredder, but when Shredder was human. But, yeah. Karai's ambushed by Tatsu. They fight, and he realizes that she's a mutant, and he even calls her a freak. But while that's all going on, Mikey and Raph encounter Razar and Fishface, and they get ambushed by them as they're trying to find out what they're up to. And this is where they reveal what they're going to do. They apparently want the Kabuto to resurrect Shredder, and then they are shocked by this. Even Mikey says, "That's messed up." But they manage to get out of there in the nick of time. But while that's all going on, I think Shinigami and Karai go back to the Turtles' lair to discuss what happened. And then Raph and Mikey show up, and then they reveal what their plan is. And Karai's like, "What? They want to bring back Shredder from the dead? Is that even possible?" But the Turtles have decided what they must do next. And I think that's where later, Razar and Fishface do encounter Tatsu, and Tatsu reveals that he does want to be the new Shredder, and he even scolds Razar by pulling his ear, even though he's been resurrected and called a zombie wolf. But this is where Karai, Sheeny, and the Turtles decide to all go to their next location where Tatsu could be, at his own little warehouse of some sort, like his own lair. And they decided to have a stance against Tatsu before they can get to the Shredder. But they mainly are distracted by Tatsu. I think most of the episode is where certain characters do team up. But Mikey and Shinigami get to team up again, and they enjoy each other, of course. But they get to Tatsu, and it leads to a big sword battle, where Tatsu is even more tough. Like, he's able to just predict all their moves. They try to take him down, but he manages to take out both Sheeny and Casey Jones. I think Casey was able to get a stance at Tatsu by throwing one of his air hockey grenades at him, which distracts him, because we do find out what Tatsu is. We do learn snippets of his backstory, where it turns out he did know Splinter, he did know Shredder, Razar, but that's something I'd like to see more. And it turns out Karai actually kind of caused a wedge between her and Tatsu by their armies, so that's why he's out for revenge, because Karai wants him to rot in his back in Japan. But they do manage to take his helmet off, and it's revealed that he is blind, and even Leo's shocked by this. But because he has super hearing for some reason, he's able to predict their moves, and that's why he's able to fight. And so when Casey throws these grenades at him, they're able to take out his ears to his advantage. But even Raph acknowledges that he's just as tough as the Shredder. But Tatsu manages to take out Sheeny and Casey and most of the Turtles, but it all stands down to Leo and Karai. They manage to, take out Tatsu by Karai tries to. I do like the scene where Tatsu is predicting when Karai is gonna strike, and he's focusing while Karai's doing multiple moves on him, and she actually almost takes him out. But the two sword battle, but Leo jumps in and takes out his ears, and I think he manages to get bitten to death by Karai, but that's where it's revealed that they do have the Kabuto. They did steal it with the Foot Clan. But before they can that happens, Razar shows up, and then Tatsu begs for him to join him. But Razar's like, the Kabuto only belongs to, and then Kabaxis jumps out of the window and says the Shredder. But Kabaxis ain't playing around. He actually picks up Tatsu and just kills him out of the right blue, and then Tiger Claw orders him to kill all of them in the room. But because of April, she's able to deflect the burns, and they all get away. And now Shredder, Kabaxis... Tiger Claw and Kabaxis have the Shredder helmet. My bad. And they are ready to find the heart of Shredder. But all our characters are injured. They take Shinigami and Casey back. And then Donnie's reflecting how he's afraid Shredder's going to come back. But Leo says they got to keep going. And by the way, Leo's got new swords and they look awesome. And he even bandages Mikey. We even see him without his mask a little. And all our characters put their hands together to make their next move. And that's the episode. So this was an excellent episode of the show. It makes me think. I really wish we could have gotten more backstory of Shredder, Splinter. Apparently there was going to be a spinoff of Shredder and Splinter, but I don't think it's canon to this show. But that it was originally probably going to be its own thing, but that show got canceled, unfortunately. But this this was definitely a good episode for sure. We had good action, sword fighting, and Tatsu was definitely an interesting villain. I just wish we got more of him in this show. But, yeah, the next 2 episodes are, like, where things get crazy. So, that should be fun to talk about. So, my favorite moments, like I said, were the sword fighting and Tatsu. But, yeah, Razor's resurrection, that definitely came out of nowhere. It's wild that he was able to resurrect Razor because his heart was still in place. But Shredder is, like, because his mutagen was, I guess his Super Shredder form was so overwhelming, that's probably what led to not getting his powers, getting his resurrection right away. So, it's just like a big quest to resurrect Shredder. That's basically this arc. But I'd probably give this episode an 8 out of 10. The next episode is, I think, where they go up against Don Vizioso. So that should be fun to talk about. So anyway, thanks for watching. And Turtle Power.